May all your yaps come true. Today, we're yapping about the graphic novel 8 Billion Genies. And yes, true to the title, it has 8 billion genies. But we'll get to that later. First, we need some location introductions. Here is the Lampwick Bar and Grill. It doesn't look like much. A typical dive bar run by this guy, Mr. Williams. We get a lot of quick character introductions with dialogue that makes sure to include their names because they're all major characters in this adventure. But normally, I'm not a fan of this style of introduction. It feels forced, unnatural. These people have been playing in a band, practicing together for who knows how long, and yet they still say lines like this? But I know just how hard it is to get characters' names to the audience, and this is a valiant effort. I can't describe why, but I really like that they included this Chinese couple who only speak Mandarin. Look at the bottom of the panel where it says, translated from Mandarin. It's subtle, but funny. I don't know if it's the idea that we get an omniscient translation or if the production team would rather not learn the kanji for Mandarin, but I think this is a lot of fun and is a running theme throughout the whole story. So we get through some more introductions and a bit of a love triangle dilemma intercut with this, the 8 billionth human being born somewhere in France. And just as they come into the world, so do the genies. These floating cosmic little guys are amazing. The depiction is perfect, color ethereal, and they feel so real yet beyond. And I'm going to gush over these genies for the rest of the yap. So everyone in the world gets a genie. Here are the genies introducing themselves to the main characters in our bot. They tell their humans that they get one single wish. Not 3, 1. And that they can wish for anything they want. Anything. It's hard for these people to believe what's happening. It's all too sudden. I like the time and consideration throughout the story to make sure that even the genies speak in the language of their human. And this one says something very important. Their intentions when making the wish will be reflected in how the wish is granted. And here we get our first pause in the story. This pops up a lot, sometimes quickly, sometimes after long sections, but let's review the information we can gather from this solitary panel. Time. We get to know just how much time has passed since the genies came to Earth. 8 seconds. That's really not a long time. Then at the bottom, we get a running tally of 2 different populations. One humans and the other genies, both equal at 8 billion for now. And we know where the name comes from, 8 billion genies. And last, there's the image of Earth. It looks normal, nothing out of the ordinary, besides all the glowing parts, significantly showing the high density areas where the genies are. I love this for multiple reasons. It's quick, it's extremely descriptive, it's germane to how this story unravels. It's a pause, you get a break from the story as a whole, a time to digest, to relax. It's just great. We get our first wish, and it's a good one. The bartender and everyone in it is immune to what's about to happen. That's the wish. I love the look on this genie. He's gushing over how good the wish is. He does a little wish magic and then starts to disintegrate and finally disappears with the ominous words, "Enjoy the show." Yes, enjoy the show indeed. So now remember, just 1 page ago when we saw the Earth and got the tally and everything was brought out for us, well, here it is again. But instead of 8 seconds, it's been 8 minutes. Let's glean what we can from it now. The Earth, square. No, do not adjust your eyes. That's on purpose. And so are the massive explosions occurring on the surface. People are wishing for some very interesting things, testing the waters. And we can see this in the decrease in the genie population. 2 million genies are gone, used for wishes. And from these wishes, 1 million humans have died. This is awesome. We're seeing a direct correlation between wishes and life. Rather, death. Everyone is yapping, having their own drama, when a huge explosion stops everything. This guy goes to check. He was just sleeping on the bar when it all started, so he's a little more confused, a little groggy, and his face says it all. But this panel says even more. There is so much happening here. This is the perfect example of a double-page spread. There's just too much to fit in a single page. It's all too much for them to handle, and they are paralyzed with astonishment and confusion. Astonifusion. When the barkeep brings them all back in the door. You're safe in there, remember? Got to keep them all inside for now. And it's all thanks to his very smart wish. Guess what time it is? That's right. Take a look at the good old Earth now. I can't gush enough about how sweet this art is. The Earth is no longer a cube. It's now an ice cream cone. I have so many thoughts about the physics and the disasters that have to be happening because of this. And the cherry on top, a maraschino moon? How massive is that? It's just plopped right in. Can I eat the moon now? The moon sounds delicious. And why laser show? No, why not laser show? This is the first 8 hours, and we're only 35 pages into the story. We are just getting started, and it's getting so fantastical and hilarious. Population check has us losing a lot of genies and almost 1 billion humans. Welcome back to the Lampwick and Dave's Carasaurus causing massive carnage on the roof. That first wish is really getting its mileage. Enjoy the show. And because of that, our main characters get to know a bit more about the genies. They're still around, right? These people haven't made their wish. So the genies can offer intel. They tell us about the person outside. He made this wish, his backstory, exactly what and why he's doing what we just saw with his Carasaurus. It's a lot of good information. What else can the genies tell us about what's happening in the world right now? This story can be so funny. I love the subtle humor when they call it an Alexa, always listening to them. And then they ask its name and they say this. The expressions on these genies are so funny. They're not cold machines. They have joy, surprise. Look at the face on this one when Robbie's dad says this. Non-stop comic relief while the world burns. Would that be my wish? Our main characters start to have deep, thoughtful conversations with the genies. But the genies are tight-lipped about this. They won't divulge why they're there. Unless you want that to be your wish. Is that a waste of the wish? Could it change anything? And then they mention how some people seen here wasted their wish. I skipped over it earlier. You'll have to see what she wished for by reading it for yourself. There is so much more to unpack in this story about wishes and desires. We've only seen up to the first 8 hours, and we're only 40 pages in. It's a 240-page banger. This story never bores, stays on the throttle non-stop. Turns, twists, emotions, all while subtly leading us to ponder about humanity's needs and desires, our darkness, our light, who we think we are versus who we become with unlimited power, and the consequences that come with it all. The genies never stop being amazing. The wishes stay fresh regardless of how many we see. And I finished reading this before I realized it. And I even teared up somewhere in between. I give 8 Billion Genies 8 genies out of 5. I'll admit it. I read this twice. I almost never read anything more than once. If you had one wish, just one, what would you wish for? Cheers. Da 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 da.